Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Inside the Lunchbox with myself, Chef Mac, and I have a special guest today, one of my best friends for the past 15 years. It's been 15 years?
Yeah, just about.
10, 15 years. She's a great person, great mom, great cook. Her name is Jamie Barnett. Like I said, it's a real good friend of mine. So how's everything, Jamie?
Everything's going great.
How is life?
It's going.
So today on the podcast, we're going to talk about family, food, and one of the topics I always wanted to go over was family traditions.
Okay.
Far as coming home, sitting down, and having a family meal at the table, or even during the holidays, family gets together and they have a big potluck or family get together for the holidays. And I feel like those traditions are leaving.
They are, definitely.
I definitely feel that way too. I feel like, everybody's up and moving around and nobody wants to get together and spend family time with each other,
I agree.
So what do you think?
I think with the newer generation coming up, they're so caught up in their electronics and wanting to play games, or quite honestly, I think people are getting too lazy to wander on out.
Yeah, that's definitely true, especially with this new generation. I know growing up, I had to come inside the house to eat. It wasn't.
Yeah. We did too. We didn't have an option.
You didn't have an option. Just 5 o'clock come, or I know for me, I had to be at home before the street lights came on.
Absolutely.
And,
we did too.
Yep. And the meal was ready and you sat down and ate, but people are not doing that anymore.
No. Yeah. Our family, we had dinner every single night together, every night.
I know being friends with you for the last decade plus, I hear you talk a lot about family and you going to spend time with your family and eating, and you guys are preparing all this food for the holidays, and it seems like your family still kind of holds on to the tradition.
We do the best we can. Most of my family's all out of state, so I'm here by myself. So I try to keep the tradition alive the best I can with my twins. We do everything from scratch. We don't buy stuff, and I try to get them involved with me, whether it's prepping, cutting, mixing, and even then, it's hard to even get them involved half the time. So I kind of have to force them, but once we get started, we have a great time.
Right? They don't want to do it, but then they're happy that they did do it. And then over the years, it builds the memories. Like, Mom, remember the last time we cooked when I was like 9 years old?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Savannah asked me the other day, one of my daughters, she said, "Hey, Mom, will you please make your croissants?" I said, "Well, which ones, baby?" She's like, "Your sausage ones, the ones you make every morning for Christmas." And I was like, "Oh," so she's already remembering that tradition that I've always made her from the time she was little, and they're 20 now, and she still wants that breakfast.
Oh, wow. So are those like stuffed croissants?
Yeah, it's like cream cheese and sausage, and you roll it up in a croissant and bake it.
Ooh, that sounds really good. That sounds
she
really
loves it.
So what type, is it just a specific sausage that you use?
I like Jimmy Dean, the original.
The original? Yeah. Okay.
Personally.
Yeah. I mean, I know with me, I don't have any traditions so much. That's weird because I'm the only family that went to school for cooking. So we don't really have too many family traditions where we go home and we eat, or we have family recipes.
Right.
I
have a whole book
I was getting ready to say,
recipes.
I know you have a whole bunch of family recipes. Like, what is your favorite family recipe?
I'd have to say it's either the pozole or the enchiladas.
Pozole?
Yeah.
I think you made pozole here at your house one time. It was really, really delicious.
I did.
Yeah, it was really good. I think even when we were out in the freezing cold, I think you made pozole. That was pozole, wasn't it?
Yeah, at deer camp.
At deer camp? Okay. Yeah, that was really, really. Her pozole is great. Maybe she'll give us the recipe. I don't know, but we'll ask.
Yeah, that's a family recipe.
But so I know last year. Did last year you go up to your family for Thanksgiving?
I did.
How was that? Like, what did you guys make for your Thanksgiving?
Oh boy, it was just like being a kid all over again.
Yeah.
Got up the night before, we started prepping certain things. The morning of course, we get up really early and got to get the turkey going, and it was pretty fun because all my sisters were there, my parents were there, and we all had our own little thing to do, from the side dishes on. I mean, like I said, we do everything from scratch, and being half Mexican, we
Oh,
all get together and
that explains it.
we do a whole lineup. So everybody has to get involved. Even the men have to come in and do certain things, or mimosas are really big. So the guys got to serve us mimosas while we're
Yeah.
cooking.
Right.
So
You guys do your homemade tortillas and everything?
we do.
Oh, nice.
This last year we did a traditional Thanksgiving, but sometimes we mix it up. But this year we did a full traditional, so we did the whole turkey and homemade cranberry sauce and
Oh, wow.
stuffing and green bean casseroles and you name it, we did it. We had to have 3 tables to spread the meal on because it was a lot of food.
Wow, that's a lot of food. So, what is the one thing that you learned with cooking and family? Like, do you think it brings family together?
I think it does. I think as adults, we kind of get lost in our own lives. We have our own children. We have our own families. Like I said, I'm from here in Texas. I got my parents and 2 of my sisters are in Tennessee. I got another one in Kentucky. Being raised military, we kind of all split up through the years. So there were several years that we didn't get together.
Yeah.
For like 12 years, my brother-in-law was deployed or overseas or in the war zones. So we
He's in the Marine Corps.
He was in the Marine Corps. Yeah, he's retired now after 22 years. But
thank you for his service.
yeah,
Great
so
service.
for so long, we didn't have the whole family together. So now that he's retired and my sister's retired, my dad's getting a little older. So now we're trying to get together for all the holidays that we can. Mm-hmm. And I think it kind of brings us back. Like I learned things about my sisters that I didn't know about.
Yeah.
We should always know everything about our family, but it was like, wow, I didn't know you went there, or I didn't know she's been to 14 countries. And
Oh, wow.
so I think it kind of, as you get older and still get together with your families, you learn so much about each other that you didn't realize the lives your family has lived.
I know that's definitely true. I know I follow your sister on social media, and I think she's a traveling nurse, right?
Yes.
So I know when I follow her on social media, every now and then she'll post a cooking video, and but it's something simple. It's just her being in a hotel and she's making do what it does with just the stuff in the hotel and some of the stuff that she came up with. I was like, oh wow. I think one time she made like a roast or something. She put it on and she came back from a long day at work and she had her roast ready. And that just shows that when you grow up with a family that loves to cook and loves to spend time with family, no matter where you're at in the world, you're always going to want to sit down and have your meal at a certain time.
Right.
And like we said earlier in the show, this generation just, I don't know, is it our fault that we raised our kids that way, or
I
is
don't
it society?
think so, because my kids were raised pretty disciplined and strict when it came to family time. Family time was family time.
Mm-hmm.
Shut your phones off, put them up, whether they go in your room or in a basket, or when it was time to eat, it was time to eat. That was our time to find out how's your day going, how's
Yes,
school
exactly.
going. And you kind of get to evaluate your children and see, at one point my kids were being bullied and they hid it for so long. And then just sitting at dinner and talking, I was like, okay, you're not acting right.
Yeah.
I think it helps in so many ways when you have that family time. You see things that otherwise we're so busy in life we don't see.
Yeah, and that's definitely true. And I think that also takes away from, I don't want to say this the wrong way, where some kids, they don't have that family, I guess the structure.
Yeah.
And then and next thing you know, they're doing any and everything out there in the streets.
Right.
And they're not coming, they don't have that structure where they come home, sit down and eat. No, tell me how your day was.
Right.
Tell me what's going on. And I think if we get more involved with family and with our kids, I think a lot of things that goes on in the world won't happen.
I agree.
To an extent, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we have to stay involved, and with the way society's becoming and, the crime and just so much going on, if you don't have that family time, and the best time to do it's while you're eating.
Yeah.
Because everybody gets
exactly.
hungry. Everybody wants to sit down and eat a meal, and that's the best time to have your conversations.
Yep, and that's why I started the podcast to show that family brings food and food brings family together.
Absolutely.
Just a story. A long time ago, my great-grandfather decided to go and buy some chickens. And not my great-grandfather, my grandfather went to go buy a whole bunch of chickens, and he went and bought like a tub or something like that. And he just went to a random location, put all these chickens. I'm going to say he probably had, no, let's say 80 or 100 chickens or something like
Wow.
that.
Uh-huh.
And he put these chickens in a tub and brung his grill out there, and he grilled chicken all day for anybody in that community
Oh,
that
wow,
wanted
that's
to come
awesome.
that wanted to come and eat for free.
Right.
And that right there, it brings people together.
Yeah, it brings warmth and joy and security and love, knowing that
Yeah.
someone else cares when you feel like nobody else does.
Yeah, and I thought that was amazing. I mean, I was a little too young to be there, but it's one of those great stories that I was told. And my grandfather, man, he was a special kind of character. He wouldn't give you any money, but he would feed you. Like he would stuff you to death. Like you would have so much food, you would tell him like, no, just stop. So
That's
with
where
that,
he found his joy in life.
right, exactly. So with that being said, is I guess what I'm trying to say is with food, food could actually be a healer to a family. I don't know could that be
I think so.
like if you
Absolutely.
know your family has issues or problems, would if you bring people together with food, would that help? I guess with the interaction and finding out what the issues, what the problems is,
I think it would.
or like
'cause
an icebreaker.
Yeah, because it puts you face to face.
Yeah,
So there's no like acting like you're busy or getting up being distracted or, when you bring someone food, hey, let's sit down, excuse me, and have a good meal together. And just that alone brings warmth. It fills your belly, but now you're face to face and you're kind of forced to have a conversation.
yeah,
So whether you discuss your problem or if it distracts you from your problem, if someone's having a bad day, sometimes they just want somebody there without having to talk about what their bad day was about. Just, I think, someone's presence.
yeah.
So food does so much.
So going back to traditions, what is do you guys have like a meal that's a tradition like for certain days or certain holidays?
Absolutely.
What is that?
Tamales are our number one tradition for Christmas.
I didn't know
every
that.
year.
Is that
From
a Hispanic, a Mexican thing?
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah.
I think every Mexican family I know has always done it. But yeah, it's a huge tradition. I've been doing it since we were babies. I remember crawling around and trying to get in the masa thinking it was putty or clay, and my abuela or my nana Fina would be like, no, mija, no, and we would run around the kitchen, and all my grandmas and grandparents and aunts and uncles would all be in the kitchen, and we were always wanting to be involved in it. And then as we got older, we got different steps to do, and one had to do chili, and then you're like, oh, dang, I got to do the masa, or I got to do the corn. But it taught you a whole lot in life, and we try to maintain that tradition.
So it seems like your family pretty much, whether you're a kid or not, everybody grew up learning how to cook.
Absolutely.
Learning how to
It
cook.
was mandatory. We didn't have an
Mandatory.
option. Yeah.
I know in my house or in my family, I don't know. I guess with the black community, I don't really see where we're growing up nowadays where the kids are spending time in the kitchen with their parents. I think it was more so back in the earlier days, but nowadays, like a kid, I don't think a kid could boil a hot dog anymore.
That's sad.
I mean, they definitely could burn some water, but but I know with my son, I try to raise him so he could be self-sufficient.
Absolutely.
And he cooks a little bit. He still needs a little help, but do I think that in the near future when he graduates, would he be able to take care of himself? Right now, he needs a little help, but
They all do to start.
but I don't know. He'd probably be the type of kid that want to go out and eat out every day, which is nothing wrong with it. I have no problem with it. I think it's great, go out and experience different food. But a question I have for you, Jamie, is if there's one food that you always want to try that you've never tried, or a side of the world, or a different culture, whether it be Asian, Jamaican. Well, you did
I
go to
did go to
Jamaica.
Jamaica. I had
How
plenty
was
of
the
Jamaican
food?
food.
How was the food there?
It was good. Jerk chicken was my favorite.
Yeah, I think I suggested that.
Yeah, you did
Yeah,
actually. I even brought you back your
yeah,
seasoning.
and they almost went to jail for my jerk chicken
Yes,
seasoning.
customs notice a few times. Almost missed our second flight coming home.
All for some jerk chicken. They almost
Seasoning.
got jerk chicken seasoning. They almost got
Oh yeah.
held over. But I mean, I like Jamaican food. It's spicy, sometimes sweet. I know you guys went to Hawaii not too
Yeah.
long ago. How
Yeah.
was the food there?
It was great. It was amazing.
Was it sweet?
We had several different restaurants.
Mm.
We actually try to stay in all local, hole-in-the-wall restaurants. When we travel, we don't want to hit chain restaurants.
Yeah,
we
exactly.
Want to experience
Exactly.
the area we're in. Pineapples was a staple there,
Yeah.
obviously, and it was great. Not a huge pineapple fan,
Yeah.
but I still tried everything, and there were some I loved.
Yeah.
But as for food, I would want to venture out to. I don't know.
No.
I don't know. I think I was raised pretty well-rounded, if
Yeah.
I can get it out.
Yeah.
With palate, I mean, my dad's white, German, Irish. My mom's
Oh wow.
Mexican,
Okay.
Hispanic. So we kind of have eaten a lot of different foods through the year. I mean, my dad's also has Indian in him. So I was married. My first husband was Native American.
Oh wow.
So, we slept in the roundhouses, for 4 years. We did fry breads. We cooked what we killed off the land.
Okay.
So we learned how to do that. And I'm an avid hunter now.
Yeah.
So I don't know really any other food that I have. I've never really thought about it. I'll have to think about that. That's a good question.
Huh. Okay. So you said
question.
your ex-husband was Native American. So were there a lot of their food strictly off hunting?
Pretty much for the most part, yeah. We kind of did our own wheat, flour, we grounded things, and it's kind of the same way in the Mexican culture. We picked a lot of our stuff and, did the hog hunting and cooked the meat for our tamales or, the pork for our pozole. I mean, it was all hands-on, and I think that taught me a lot to teach my kids growing up, and hopefully I got 2 granddaughters,
Yeah.
so
Oh, congratulations.
my 7-year-old granddaughter, she loves being in the kitchen with me. So I always get her
That's
up there
awesome.
with her little apron on and cooking. And I'm hoping just to carry those traditions on.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Because you definitely don't see that anymore.
No, you
doing
really,
stuff from scratch
you
anymore.
really don't. I remember being a kid and always getting into the cake dough, cake batter.
Yeah.
And my mom used to get the time she did bake cakes. I would always go behind her back and just stick my whole hand into the cake batter. And she
slap your
never,
hand?
she still doesn't know this to this day. Like I think one time I even licked the bowl and put it back. Yeah, it sounds so horrible, so gross and horrible. But I remember I just licked the bowl and put it back and just walked out. So if she's listening to this podcast, Mom, that was one of the things one of my secrets.
One of the things
It was a strawberry cake too. I remember that day.
Oh, that's my daughter's favorite, strawberry cake.
I gave that bowl everything I could. And I had to do it fast, too, because she was coming around the corner. I just licked it and put it down. But,
Yeah, I've definitely been slapped in the hand with those spatulas and wooden spoons many times for doing such things.
so do you like to bake?
I'm not a big baker. I will. Lemon bars is one thing we learned really young. I haven't made those in years. I might just have to
Lemon
make
bars?
that soon.
I never heard, what are lemon? Is it like a cookie?
It's kind of like a cookie. It's got a crumble on the top, and it's made with like some cream cheese and
okay.
lemon and lemon zest, and it's kind of a chewy.
Is it like a tart? Kind of like a tart?
Kinda.
Okay.
Kinda.
No, that sounds good. Yeah, you got to make that.
So I haven't done that in years, but my daughter loves to bake. She just made cinnamon, she's seen this thing on TikTok.
Yeah.
I just dumped it out. Love you, Savannah, if you're listening. She knows. She's like, oh, that didn't taste so good. I said, what? How'd you get your dough? She's like, well, Mom, I bought the biscuits. I went, why'd you buy biscuits?
Yeah.
I taught you how to make homemade dough. And she's like, well, I seen it on TikTok. You smashed it and you didn't. And I was like, yeah, it was horrible.
Yeah, so we can say TikTok is not the way to go for recipes.
It was horrible. She followed it to a T. But I mean, the filling was good.
Yeah.
With the strawberries and lemon zest and all that. She did it. She's more of a baker. I'm not.
Yeah, I know she baked some, I think it was some brownies or something not too long ago. She baked something that was really, really good. No, it was cookies. I can't remember what it was, but she baked something.
She
and I remember
quite a
eating
bit.
it, and it was really, really good.
And what I love is when she says, Mom, we need more flour. I said, what'd you do with flour? She's like, oh, well, I made, and I can't remember what she made. She made something, and it warmed my heart that she just didn't go and buy the store-bought, just throw it in the oven and cook it.
Yeah.
I love how she, we'll get the flour. And she's like, do you have any powdered sugar? I said, I got about 2 cups. I said, what do you need? Well, Mom, I need to make some icing.
Oh, nice.
And, you know, so it makes me proud that she's learning to do things from scratch, because I think it changes the flavor. And it's also another conversation piece when you're with family or friends. Are like, oh, where'd you get this? Oh, I didn't. I made it. How'd you make it?
Yep. And that's the whole thing, is cooking, conversation piece, conversation starter. So I want to actually get a little bit on my friend, Dallas Barnett. I love this guy with everything. Everything I have, I love this guy. So I know he's a Texas man. He likes his barbecue, his ribs, and his steak. You can't really deviate from what he likes.
No.
It's always the same thing.
Very picky.
Every time. But I've noticed every now and then he will try something, but it's on a very rare occasions. I know you told me how sometimes you get around with trying new things with him.
Oh, yeah.
What is your little secrets? Hopefully he's not listening to your secrets.
No, I think he's actually peeling potatoes for me right now, because I'm making chicken and dumplings as we speak.
Oh, that sounds good. That sounds good.
But you know, I started venturing out with little things that he wouldn't know, because he is very picky. I can't remember what I started with. It's been 15 years we've been together now, so I can't remember how I originally started, but he wasn't keen on Mexican food.
Yeah.
Fajitas, and that's it. That's all he would eat.
Yeah,
Beef fajitas.
Beef and steak. Don't nobody mess with his fajitas.
Yep, that's it.
I remember somebody messed with his fajitas one day, man. That person had to leave that day. But
yeah.
the one thing you don't mess with Dallas fajitas.
Yeah, you gotta go. But I started like adding little things. I said, well, why don't you try this? So I would make him a dish, and then I'd make my family dish. And then one day I just told him, I said, I'm not making 2 dishes. You told the kids they had to eat what we ate, or they don't eat. They can find something else. I said, so guess what? You're going to eat what I make, or you're not going to eat.
Yeah.
So I kind of started simple. Like his mom would make a dish or something, such as chicken and dumplings. Prime example, actually, speaking of which. His mom does her chicken and dumplings completely different. Again, picky as can be. He does not do dark meat, only white meat.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So she does dark meat, but she'll make a separate one with just white meat for him.
Okay.
But she does, like, she cuts up tortillas and throws them in there. And it's kind of a noodling type thing.
Okay.
And so I told him, he goes, I'm not eating your chicken and dumplings. I only eat Mom's chicken dumplings. I said, just give it a shot.
Just try it, right?
So I had some leftover chicken, and then I got some chicken breast and cooked that. And I threw probably a handful of dark meat in there. Not a whole lot where he noticed.
Yeah.
And then I don't do the noodles. I make homemade biscuits. So I do biscuit droppings in mine.
Ooh, that sounds good.
And so he was like, oh, I love it. And then I said, you just ate dark meat. No, I didn't. Like, he freaked out. And I'm like, see, you didn't even notice it.
Didn't even notice the difference.
So I started twisting recipes like that.
Yeah.
And at first he was like, I'm not eating this until you tell me what's in it. And after a while, he got so immune.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you do realize you just ate this, or, hey, you do realize that was barbacoa, or, you know, so that just kind of started tweaking little at a time. And now it's just straight up the way I cook it, and he eats it.
I know my brother, man. He definitely likes things a certain way, and he's definitely raised like, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's not bad at all. He grew up loving his mom's cooking, and that's how he is. There's nothing wrong with that. But one thing I can say is that he has a beautiful wife that knows how to cook.
Oh, that's good.
And he should definitely try new things. So Dallas, if you're listening, try new things, man.
Yeah, he's starting to. So
yeah, and I noticed it. I hope he's not in the kitchen. I seen that he hasn't ate ketchup in a while.
No, he cut the ketchup out in a while. I used to get on him. I'm like, is my food not good enough? My husband put ketchup on everything. Eggs, tortillas, toast, biscuits, you name it. Macaroni and cheese. Everything. Yeah, he actually I haven't bought ketchup probably in 3-4 months.
Yeah.
So
He definitely, on the grill, he taught me how to grill on an open flame. I grew up using charcoal. So I was really kind of nervous when he first showed me how to cook on an open grill or open flame, and how to watch it and how to look for your heat and everything. He's a really great grill cook on the grill. So those ribs that he cooked are fantastic. The steaks that he cooked are fantastic. But yeah, so Dallas, thank you for all that. Sorry we had to bring you up in the podcast.
Probably a good thing he's not in here.
Yeah. Oh, we're probably going to hear about it. He's like, yeah, I probably heard you guys in there
yeah.
talking about me. But yeah, so definitely family and food is definitely a conversation starter. This year, are you guys planning to go anywhere this year? Another country? I know you guys were planning to go somewhere different or back to Jamaica.
No, I don't think we'll go back to Jamaica. Probably never, actually.
No, hey, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
We had a great time.
I mean,
though.
if I go to Jamaica, I'm only going for one reason.
Yeah, I think we're talking about going to maybe Cozumel or something this year.
Oh, that's nice.
Or Germany. I think we're going to do Germany next year.
Yeah, I think I talked to you guys about that. My dad wants us to go and visit Germany. Yeah. So,
you definitely got to come.
Yeah, Germany. Sure. You guys would definitely like Germany because they eat a lot of beef and pork. We're very much meat eaters there, but their food is kind of, I guess you could say, salty. A little bit on the salty side, but that's just the way they eat. A lot of fried schnitzel and their sausages and everything. So my daddy has a bar down there, so I already told him that we're probably going to plan on coming down in the next year or two. So hopefully we could get down there.
We're going to Germany.
Hey,
heck yeah.
I'm all for it. Yeah. So well, Jamie, that's pretty much it. Do you have any recipes you want to share with us? Any secret recipes that you want to share?
Maybe on the next one.
On the next one, okay.
Maybe on the next one.
I mean, I'm telling you, man, when I say every time I come here, I'm always welcome with food. I mean, I could just literally come here for 5 or 10 minutes, and I'm not forced to eat, but it's food here every time I come here, and it's amazing. And I feel like I'm at home every time I come here. And it makes me feel like my family's not here in Conroe, Texas. My family is in San Antonio, Texas. So whenever I do have a good family meal, it's here,
Always welcome.
Yeah, always. It's always here. The food is great.
No questions.
Her pot roast is to die for. That's one of my favorites. Her tacos, and
which the tacos are made with that leftover pot roast meat.
Yeah, it is, and I think that's what makes it so good because it's so flavorful.
It's different.
But yeah, so well, I guess that's pretty much what we have today. Jamie has to go there and fix all the corrections that Dallas made on the chicken and dumplings. So she has to go in there and make those chicken and dumplings, guys. So I just want to thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks, Jamie, for being here.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
I love you so much.
I love you more.
I hope this is not the last time you want to come on to the podcast. So
anytime.
Other than that, see you guys later.